Capricorn. Thank you for joining me and tuning in to what your frequency is. I got some interesting messages coming in for your collective. This is for any significant Capricorn placement, or if you have a prominent placement in that 10th house. Ooh, Ted just said, ooh, so it looks like things are looking up on the 10th house level. Okay, that's good. Your star is on the rise. Your North Star is on the rise. You are on the rise, Capricorn. Already getting ahead of myself here. Also, if you are a Cancer rising, that makes you a Capricorn descendant, and you may find resonance with this message. I got that 111 on the clock just as I brought the Cancer piece in. So it's giving me the imagery of, Cancer, of course, is a water sign, and Capricorn an earth sign. So there's this sense of water and earth merging together, and there's a lot of growth that's about to occur on your path. Something that is about to kick off for you is really going to spark your vision moving forward. I did get this piece that you are reclaiming some light through the darkness. In fact, the darkness was the place that this light was birthed and where it's been gestating. It's giving me like big vibes of, Persephone's rise as core in the spring. So there's some kind of heavy duty south node, karmic balancing work that you've been processing. I feel like you've successfully integrated those lessons. There's something you've overcome, really, and now you're moving into that rise and shine kind of energy. It's got that rise and shine. So there may even be this piece that whatever you're rising up into now will give you some kind of visibility. There will be some kind of spotlight shined on you, or some kind of recognition, some kind of acknowledgement. You'll be noticed. You'll be noticed for your transformation as well with what you're about to step into. I did get this piece that you are going to be coming into alignment with a particular teacher on your path. And this teacher is here to help activate your purpose. And many of you are here to also teach something. And that teacher is being awakened in you now. You may also find that your teacher that you're coming into alignment with, it comes in many forms. It's not just found within one person, but perhaps through many people, and maybe through just tapping more into your instinctual nature, not approaching things so practically, okay? There's this piece about sort of letting go of practicality in favor of more wildness, invoking a bit of the feral nature, being able to pick up the scent of a trail and reaching out to somebody because, well, it just feels like I need to reach out to this person, or talking to that stranger because you just energetically feel drawn in that direction. And perhaps it is through actually trusting these impulses, these sensations, these instinctual hunches that you actually experience connection with many different teachers. It's interesting. It has sort of like a treasure hunt vibe, only you're receiving teachings from multiple sources. And it's through just trusting your own intuitive impulses about who you're meant to connect with, or where you're meant to go, or what book you're meant to pick up off that shelf. There's something about this. It's activating the teacher within you. There's a certain wisdom awakening in you. And it's coming through these teachers that are aligning with you on your path. And through this, you are going to also offer some kind of teaching to others. 4:44 on the clock. A lot of synchronicity around this. So I wanted to see what was rising up out of the past for you. Ooh, look at this. Forgiveness. Releasing the burden. So there is something that's coming to bloom in your life, and there's a gift that you're receiving through letting go of the heaviness from the past. You're not holding on to any of those shadow elements that you were really struggling to shed at one point. I feel like you've transmuted something, and Now you're getting to experience the sweetness of the bloom because you willingly embraced the thorns. You didn't avoid the pain. You knew that pain was the way that the light would get through. It was the only way through. The only way out is to go through the pain, to face it squarely. And there is some pain that you have integrated. And through integrating this pain, it's allowing you to come more into the place of love. It's sort of like in moving through the pain, something that had seemed an insurmountable fear to you moved away from its sphere of influence. Oh my gosh, look what came out for you. This is how the light got through. Perhaps through a tower moment. Look at this. Through a tower moment, it electrified something in you. You had the bravery to face your fear and move through it. There was something that you had to release, and it required you to invoke a lot of courage, and you had to just really squarely face off with this thing. And through it, you're getting this gift. You're exploring wildness, werewolf energy. Woo! I love this werewolf coming in. You're really grokking that wolf medicine. You know what I'm saying? You're really grokking that wolf medicine. Wolf is the pathfinder, and it's all about that instinct. There's something really electrifying about this as you move forward in pursuit of this Capricorn. Do look for the next full moon to come in to be a particularly electrifying time for you. And I'm not even sure what sign the next full moon is in or when it's coming in, but there's something relating back to what you karmically closed with the Libra full moon, that you'll see the light that builds on the other side of it by that time, by the next full moon that comes in. I'll do a little research on that afterwards, and I'll pin it in the comments so you can kind of keep your eyes on that date. Very interesting energy coming in here, right? So we know something's really awakening in you. We know you're not moving forward on your path in the same way you have in the past. You're more willing to kind of like step outside your comfort zone. You're more willing to like think outside the box. You're willing to be a little bit bold. You're willing to try things you haven't tried before. And I feel like the more that you try things you haven't tried before, and the more you take these risks, to just trust where your instincts are leading you to connect. 808 on the clock. Wow. Okay, that's the angel number of being on the right track, on the right path. Keep going, okay? Because I feel like it powers you up. It like gives you this boost of power. I also felt really compelled to pull out the goddess guidance cards for you because I wanted to see what you were rising up into, because it did give me that big like emperor, empress kind of energy. Like there's some kind of sovereignty you're reclaiming here too. It's like your inner authority. Ooh, Sarasvati could be through the arts. Okay, you could be in a really creative space at this time. Express yourself through creative activities. Some of you may even be making some music or wanting to pick up a musical instrument. Some of you may be guided toward very unusual stringed instruments like the sitar or mandolins, you know, harpsichord, you know, this kind of thing. It's interesting. There's something about this that when you start to explore music of this genre or on this level, it's a bit about touching upon grace that will be a continual unfoldment for you. It's something that resonates really deeply with your spirit. Ooh, and it also leads to abundance and blessings in your life with abundancia here. Okay, we got prosperity pouring out on you. The universe is pouring its abundance out to you. Be open to receiving. I think you are. I feel like you are. I feel like whatever you went through, whatever bravery you had to muster up in order to face off with a deep-seated fear, it sort of gave you this like inner rebellion that has really set you loose, you know? I don't feel like you're approaching life in a closed off way. I feel like quite the contrary. It's like all the cobwebs have been blown out and you're not caught up in anything. You're just open to experience at this time. And it's causing something beautiful to weave through your life. So I really want to see, what is this energy that Capricorn is rising up into now, because it has this feeling of rising up into a higher version of yourself. It's like avatar energy, almost like you're merging with your avatar, and that's what's being activated on your path at this time. It's some higher expression of your consciousness that's now ready to be embodied on the earth plane. The readings that have been coming through in between these eclipses have been very interesting. There's a whole different tone of energy coming in. And I feel like you're aligned with this already. I feel like you are actually already tapping into this sort of frequency, and you're really grounding it out too. Maybe you are the key for grounding some of these higher frequencies that are unlocking the collective North Node into material reality. All right, let's see what's coming in here. What are you embodying here? I must see. Okay, so we see that the basis of the matter is that you did a lot of purification work. In order to let that light peer through, there was a lot you needed to release with Coventina here. And I think that you might still have a little bit more of this cleansing way to do, but I feel like you're coming to the end of it. Like you're just about to come out the other side where you get to see where the light peeks through. Yes, it was 12:11 on the clock when I brought that in. So we are heading up to the midnight hour, but I feel first, while we're in this period of the retrograde, there is something to reflect back on that is just sort of like the final shedding of those veils of illusion that finally gives you this feeling of great clarity. And that's when the light really peeks through for you. You might want to do some more purification for your body, okay? It seems like it's coming up physically. So if you've recently made any changes in your health, if you've been eating more fresh foods, if you've been getting more water in, you've been focusing on really hydrating yourself, I think that this has been very beneficial for you. Also, spending time near bodies of water will be very healing for your soul, very cleansing for your soul. Some of you are really desiring to visit a body of water you've never been to before. I got Great Lakes energy coming in. I'll tell you, as somebody who has lived by the sea and is now in the realm of the Great Lakes, it's a very different energy. It's beautiful. It's powerful. There's such strength and resonance there. There's a current that is so deep and ancient and primal there, but it's this power that is very different from the power of the sea, which where I'm from originally, I'm from the San Francisco North Bay area, and that stretch of the coast, the Sonoma coast, is very wild. It's very unbridled. It's ancient energy, it's primal energy, but it's more that kind of really wild, you know, untamable, unpredictable kind of energy. It just has that quality to it. And the energy of the Great Lakes, it still has all of that depth and that deep resonant charge of primal force, but its power is in its tranquility. Its power is in its embodiment. Its power is just so imbued in its essence, it doesn't need to make a great display of it. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced before. So this coming in, I also feel like you're purifying yourself so you can really embody that kind of essence. Maybe in the past you were more subject to the whims of the chaotic flow because Capricorns tend to be very salt of the earth kind of people. You are the sea goat, though. You know how to adapt. You do hold a certain temperance kind of energy within you, and temperance has been coming in for you for a while. So some of you are connecting with Sagittarians. Some of you are rising up out of this time of purification through adopting a new philosophy. You're starting to look at life in a new way, or you're embracing new teachings that are opening up your road. Some of you are traveling, and this is opening your mind. You're connecting with different land. You're connecting with different people. You're connecting with different experiences. And all of this is what's building this light of transformation in your life. Okay, let's see what wants to come in here. And I'm really enjoying these reads and the way that they're downloading through these eclipses, I have to say. And I'm actually really enjoying this eclipse energy. And this Mercury retrograde energy. It has more of a remembrance of what is of true value, more of a remembrance of our true essence, more of a remembrance of what should never be forgotten. It's like a reclaiming energy to me with these eclipses. It doesn't feel like a backslide with a Mercury retrograde. Yes, time is sort of in an interesting suspended animation state, but it's so we can really imbue the essence of what should be remembered. Maybe something is being remembered by you now, something that's awakening within you. Ooh, something that's awakening within you, that's a remembrance of something you have forgotten, something that was discarded in the past. Interesting. What's coming through here? What is this light that's building in Capricorn's life? What are they rising up into now? Whoa, quite a bit. I'm going to take all of it, okay, because some of it did come up as a crossing position, and some of it is coming up as it used to be crossing, and now you're on the rise with it. So I'm taking these cards over here to symbolize what's on the rise, and this deck here is sort of like what you are currently traversing, I feel. I'm going to look at them as a whole. Ooh, we got Freya, bold, right? Unleash your adventurous side, take risks, and be daring. Mother Mary, expect a miracle. Nematona, sacred space. I feel like this sacred space for you is connected to water specifically. I say that because we have two, right now, we have two water goddesses coming through. We have Nematona, and we also have Setna. Okay, infinite supply. We have Isolt, undying love. Ooh, lots of water coming in for you. Look at this. Yamanja, golden opportunity. Okay, and we have Lakshmi, bright future. Wow, so many water goddess energies. This is really wild here. So yes, you're taking some risk. You're stepping outside of your comfort zone. You're willing to be daring. And it's through taking these risks that you're demonstrating great faith and trust. You are actually expecting a miracle because you are really in this place where you're just wide open. You already faced your greatest fear. So really, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And once you thread that particular eye of that needle, you really do allow yourself to weave a different storyline into being. And I think you have been sending up prayers. I think you are feeling very connected on a spiritual level. I feel like you've been asking for assistance to soften more, to open up more into the heart space, to live an unguarded life, all right? And there may be a particular issue that you're trying to overcome, or something you're trying to release that you recognize, this has really been holding me back, or this has been an obstacle and I do need to shed this. So I feel like you're doing some kind of inner emotional transformational work, and you've been calling in some help in that regard. You may have even been doing some kind of vigil. I mean, I have to call it out because we do have a Virgin Day Guadalupe candle going on here right now that is really just to support all of the collective in releasing any of their barriers that are disrupting them from moving into that place of love and expansion and growth, right? So I do feel like where you're doing this healing work and you are willing to take the risk to open your heart up and experience new experiences, that you are going to be supported in this. And there's some piece here about you really recognizing the more that you kind of come into this place of sacred space. It says create an altar or visit a power place to connect with the divine. For you, I feel like it's a significant like piece of land. Like it's the land's energy signature, and it has something to do with a great body of water. Okay, there's something about this that when you connect with your powers place and when you connect with nature in such a way that it reminds you that you also are a part of this sacred space. That's an interesting way of looking at it, as all of nature is this great, beautiful altar of creation. And you also are one of these sacred symbols of the divine that is on that altar. And you carry that sacred space within you. Water is coming through so very strongly for you. So I feel like it's also remembering that you are comprised mostly of water. So you always carry that within you too. Hmm. You might even be grokking a bit of a large body of water and really imbuing its essence. And there's a piece of it you take home with you, even when you're away from that space. Interesting. And yes, you're also recognizing that there's an endless supply. And the more that you allow yourself to come into your heart, come into your feelings, look at that whale tail in the background. That reminds me of activation of the Akashic records. So yes, there's something you're retrieving here. There's something you're remembering here. I feel like it's a certain magic that you hold really deep within you. The record keeper, that's what whale medicine is. Whale medicine is also about breaching, right? Like breaching the barrier of the former ceiling you used to have above yourself. I do feel like you're breaking beyond some restrictions that you used to have over you, maybe that you took on from other people, but there's this like reclaiming of power here. And where you have been concerned maybe about your abundance, or will I be supported moving forward in the future and in my new direction, I feel like there's just an endless supply here, and it has everything to do with the fact that you are willing to trust and that you are opening your heart. And people really negate the way this has such an influence on our abundance. When we are shut down in our heart center, we're not able to receive. And in order to be able to receive abundance, not just emotionally, okay, in the form of support, but also materially, financially, we have to have this chakra center open. So I feel like you are totally supplied and you're coming into a very abundant time in your life. And this may even come through a golden opportunity to connect with a particular soulmate. I think when you come into contact with this person, there's this sense of, I know you. We've shared many lives together. There's instant soul recognition with this person. And where you do feel tempted, to open up those doors where you're having these, interesting connections happen. Trust your instincts in this regard, okay? Because it's a golden opportunity for something new to be born for you that is the lighting of a bright future ahead. And of course, Lakshmi again brings in abundance. But this is really a sign. Look at that Ganesh imagery in the background. All obstacles are out of your way. You're now moving into the sun. So I feel like you've really cleared out the heavy energy. I just want to say congratulations, because this read is really coming through as a signpost to really demonstrate how much you've grown. So let's see what you're rising up into. Here's the two cards. Ooh, you're in that pregnant pause moment. You are about to activate something quite powerful. You're You're preparing to shoot your shot. Okay, this is something that's going to come in on 420 with Uranus-Jupiter conjunction. You are going to take a bold action at this time. We have Artemis, Guardian. You're totally protected in this. I love this. Look at the balance of shadow and light. You never would have had the courage to shoot this shot, to take this leap you're going to take on 420 if it had not been for what you went through that time during the dark. So I feel like right now you're just in this place where you're readying yourself, steadying yourself, okay? The siege, quiet time, all right? This is going to give you everything you need. Look at the stars. Look at all the stars in the darkness there. I love it. Beautiful imagery. Take some time, some quiet time alone to rest, meditate, and contemplate. You and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. And I do feel like this North node that you're activating, it is protected. It's earmarked for you. And all it requires is you take this action, and that action is going to be very clear. I feel like you're setting your sights right now. That's what it feels like. Let me do a cut of the deck here to get a final message to take away from this for you. Oh my. Guinevere, true love. This looks like you're coming into alignment with a very special soulmate. The romantic stirrings in your heart have propelled the universe to deliver great love to you. And what's on the other side here? Ishtar, boundaries. Oh, wow, this is beautiful energy because Ishtar is also associated with that energy of Persephone. It's that same kind of energy. Ishtar does the deep dive into the underworld to dance the dance of the seven veils, to come naked before Ishkriyel. And through that, she integrates her shadow and she regains her sovereignty. And she rises up as Inanna, queen of the heavens. And I see that this is what you're rising up into now. It's this transformation. Love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. Yes, and it's through you drawing those lines that you recognize you needed to draw in the past. And by loving yourself enough to call all the pieces of you back home, you've experienced this beautiful integration. And it's through the past. Look at the lily energy. This is honoring the past. It's through the past that you come into the love within yourself and true love with another. Ooh, beautiful, beautiful vision unlocking for you now. It's got like Lancelot vibes, Avalon vibes. I can't wait to hear what comes through.